It has been a while since I have sat down and filmed in front of this big camera, and you know what? I am blinded right now. I am definitely blinded right now. But anyways, this is going to be kind of like my actual sit down, deep thoughts, talks, how I liked it, how it went, everything like that, like I said before, because I wanted to like be fully immersed in CDYC. Still gotta live in the moment. And it really worked out well for me last year to do my video like this, and I heard a lot of good stuff about how like they appreciated me doing that video, and that it was really cool to see like the days and some of the little tidbits of what we did, and then my actual thoughts about how everything actually went. So that's gonna be exactly what I'm doing this time around, and it's really sad that this was my last year, well, my last year as like a student. Our theme this year was Uprising, and it says, this year's theme is Uprising. We believe in you. We believe that you have the capacity and potential to completely change your communities, your churches, your campuses, and your homes. We believe that God has amazing things planned for you. This week, everything is designed to set you up to get home and start an uprising where you come from and see it ripple into every place that Jesus is going to send you. So I really liked this year's theme. At first I was like, what the heck, I don't really know where they're gonna take this. I think it was really good because they always talk about like a spiritual high mountaintop. So I really liked this year's theme and thought that it applied to the long term and like this week, and then you get home, and that's when your actual work at home starts. So I really liked that. I made some little notes because some days I didn't get very much footage, but you know, that's okay because I still remember those days. I was fully in those days, and I can hopefully elaborate on that for you guys. Ready? Yeah! Let's get pumped.
Hey Cameron, I love you.
Look at this, folks. I love fortune cookies. Raylan brought me a fortune cookie all the way from Animal Kingdom.
I know. I can't believe it made it.
I must much appreciate that. There's Isading in her motherly ways. We're taking on this voyage.
Pretty as I'll ever be.
Don't give me that sassy look.
Seriously, he only acts nice to me on camera.
What are your thoughts?
Yay.
A lot more enthusiasm than Isabel at the moment. The people love you, Isabel.
Do the people love me?
Yes,
Comment below
they
if you
do.
love
Do the
me,
people
and I
love
promise to
me?
cheer up next time for you.
Yeah, do it. Give the video a thumbs up and a comment
If you like me.
if you like Isabel and want
What
her to
about
turn her
me?
frown upside down.
What about me?
The people like you too, Raylan.
Ladies and
You give me my gift when I'm here. No way! Alrighty, folks. We have made it to the CDYC, and we're in our room. It's a lot better shape than Shubei last year. If you remember, I will put the video from last year up in the cards. This is an essential. If you're going to a church camp, or any camp in general, church camps are the best.
And especially if you're on that gift week at God So Planted in Women.
Okay, let's get started. We've got 100% apple juice Minute Maid, cashew halves and pieces, Cheez-It white cheddars, 30 packs of Fruit Smiles, granola bars and go-go squeezes, apple cinnamon, frosted animal cookies, I love these, Junior Mint Minis, I've never seen these in my life. So cute. Reese's Snack Mix, Sour Patch Kids, Albanese peach rings. Last but most important,
Ew,
we've got Ocean Spray strawberry flavored craisins. They're so good. Sniff them. Yum yum. Chomp chomp. Hey, that's my line. Yep. 3-second rule.
Salt and vinegar Pringles, Almond Joy snack mix, tropical Starburst, Scooby-Doo snacks, mini Oreos, 3 bags of Goldfish, and 1 bag of Cheez-Its. I guess that's the only thing I can find. Goldfish. I forgot my new bag at home. And then dark chocolate sea salt Milano something.
This is our crib so far. You can tell I've literally done nothing so far.
Because she was busy.
Yeah, gas bubbles are a real pain in the butt, literally.
You're walking over, get out.
Visiting, so people want to know what snacks you brought.
I have a wide variety.
Let's see what she's got.
Frick.
Cosmic brownies, Pringles, Cheez-Its, mini muffins, Pop-Tarts, Mott's, ooh, chewy granola bars, Trolley sour gummy worms, Lifesavers, fruit smiles, water bottles, some good old-fashioned Yahtzee. Looking good, is it, dang?
What are you doing? Get over here.
I'm so OCD.
Isn't that?
Are you not?
Dang it, guys, I'm gonna be squeaking all night.
How OCD
You're just perching and I'm like, dude. I thought I'd elaborate on this whole shoe bay thing. Last year we were in a dorm at Bethel called Shoop, but we thought it was called Shoe Bay. When you walked out of the basement area, you saw this big picture of an older lady, and it kind of really creeped us out. And by like about the first day, we had like this thing where it was Shoe Bay, and Shoe Bay like haunted us and stuff. Nothing against like Bethel. This is an accurate representation of how I have to get on my bed. So far we just got back. We had hangout time, and then we went to dinner, and we're here at CDYC. We got here at like 3-ish, I think, maybe, yeah. After the hangout time, we had dinner, and then we had some more hangout time, and we're back in our room right now, and I just have to explain this to you. I so wish I would have had my camera, because we just witnessed Will, aka Will's World, slipping and falling into a pond, fully clothed. It was hilarious. Will, if you're watching this, I really wish I would have gotten that on camera. It's currently 6:40, and we have session at 7, which is like the band will perform, we'll have our speaker, it'll kind of just be an introduction. And then, I don't know when else is gonna happen, so we'll just see. With that being said, let's just see what the rest of the day has in store. Are you ready, Emily? Mm-hmm. All right, over and out. Woo! I'm gonna try Takis Fuego for the first time.
Got you like the whole thing too.
It burns my lips.
I know, they're so good.
Pretty good. Anything you'd like to share?
I just love CDYC. The first day, I think went really good. It was really hype. We were all super like lit, and we're all ready to talk to Kiwi. We don't talk to Kiwi.
We're as homies, let's be honest.
Yeah. And we've met lots of people, I feel like.
Yeah.
Home meeting? Well, I'm back. I don't have Takis anymore. I have Oreos. It's amazing so far because CDYC is the mom.com, man. The room was really good. We have a lot of food. I got really turned at the games thing. Like, I haven't got that hyper in a while.
Currently, Lauren is passed out sleeping and her eyes are open. Oh, look at that face. Oh, so cute, like a little puppy. And we're trying to figure out Lauren's alarm name because she passed out on us.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
They left. These are boring.
So I didn't know.
Lauren, you sleep really creepily. She always wakes up if there's like a camera around. That's weird. She look like a ball. Lauren, please tell us the story. Can you please?
Everyone leave.
Because it's 1:40 and they went to sleep.
I'm not even awake right now.
Aren't you talking?
I don't know.
Can you repeat yourself?
I tried to take a nap at home or anywhere, and I go to sleep. I like feel like I'm vibrating.
How so?
Like I can literally feel myself vibrate and my heart vibrates. It's really weird, and I feel hot and my mouth tastes weird.
Are you dreaming? What the frick? Are you on drugs?
No. Hi guys.
So June 20th was the day that we actually met up, got on the buses, and headed to CDYC. And we were all so hyped and so happy to see each other. People are busy and we can't really see each other that much. And my friends are a super tight-knit group. When we go through these periods of time, it's just kind of weird and you really miss people, and a week of not seeing someone feels like a month. We were all so crazy and so hyper. Literally, it hadn't hit me yet that it was CDYC time. And normally at CDYC, they have one speaker, but this year I really liked this aspect. They had a different speaker for every single session, which was really cool. And the first speaker was Adam Sharp. It was titled An Uprising of Life. I also thought it was really cool that every single speaker kind of made their own title and how it applied. He talked a lot about the story of Noah, and obviously how he was told to build the ark. These are just kind of some of the bullets I made. God is looking for obedience, and you have to be willing to be obedient and to wait out on what he's trying to tell you or what he's going to do in your life, or getting answers to something you're seeking, which is some advice that I need to take, that I know I need to take, that we need to move when he says to move, and speak when he says to speak, and act when he says to act, and everything like that, which has been huge in my life within the last year and a half. God gives us a plan, you just have to be willing to take those steps. It may not be easy, it may seem scary, but God is the creator of possible and impossible. Have no fear, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's freedom. That's part of a song that Urban Rescue, which is the group that was there, which was also the group that was there last year, sang. I really like Urban Rescue. They're really great. I'm pretty sure they're from California. They're great people. And you also have to be willing to stand alone, and Noah did it for years. It took him 75 years to build the ark that he was told to build. He had to be super obedient in doing that, because if you hear the message of what God was speaking to Noah, if you weren't obedient, you would not by any means be willing to spend 75 years building an ark and being criticized by others about, why are you doing this? It's never gonna happen. On this night, sometimes I really surprise myself. And that whole aspect of being bold and stepping up and moving when God asks you to move, because they did this thing where they were speaking to people who know that they need to step up and be a leader in a certain aspect of life. Normally for these things, I'm silently looking around and being like, oh, Sally's stepping up and going to do that. That's not how you're supposed to operate, people. Literally, I was like, giddy up, let's go. Youth pastors would pray for us to go off and do whatever we felt we were called to do as a leader. We had some kind of tip-off madness kind of thing. It was just a really cool thing of getting everyone involved and hype for the week and everything. Also, I was talking in my sleep, and thank you so much, Isabel and Raylan, for capturing that beautiful ratness of myself sleeping. That was just so...
Wait, hold on.
Ow, but your hips are sticking out.
No, because it's on the door. Oh, I guess I am long. Wait, can you see?
Okay.
I can only hold it for so long, guys.
Okay, 1, 2.
You're letting us down, come on.
Hello people, it is June 21st and it is approximately 6:30 p.m. We just got back from eating dinner, but before that, today was our volleyball day. So we started playing. Our first game was at like 1:15, and we practiced a little bit before that, and then we had our games, and then it was super fun, and we were just super supportive. Emily, wasn't it just so much fun?
It was so much fun, guys.
So much fun, and we were very supportive of each other. And we made it 4 games in. In our 4th game, we played a team that was a legit travel team. Okay, but anyway, we lost that game, but it's okay. And we play again tonight at 11 in a game to see if we're 3rd or 4th place. And this morning, we had session, obviously, and breakfast, and I had some Lucky Charms because, you know, yeah. Now we're about to go to session. It is really, 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 really rainy outside, and I've gotten so wet today, and my feet are soaking wet. They're moist. They're really moist. It slowed down a little bit. It went through like bursts of pouring rain. So that was awesome. Like usual, we're waiting on Raylyn to get out of the bathroom.
Hey, Raylyn.
Yep. So let's just see what the rest of today has in store. Woo!
Are you squeezed in here? Okay. No. How are you sitting?
Should I take a shower?
Oh my god!
I was trying to grab her leg, but I couldn't.
Are you shook? That was awesome. So, day 2, speaker of this session was, I'm really gonna butcher this, Laura Bulgarian. She was really cool. Basically, to sum this up, she talked about the story of Moses and like kind of on receiving signs from God and like nudges from God. The thing that really stood out to myself and to a lot of girls in my small group was the fact that she compared God's glory to like the weightedness or the worth of him and like how we think of him and how he's weighted and worth to us in our life. For CDYC, you have to sign up for like basketball, volleyball, or like the talent show type thing. I did volleyball because I played volleyball, and we had a really, really fun team, and it was really awesome. Like I said in that clip, we ended up making it all the way to like the championship to find out who's in 3rd place and who's in 4th place, and that game was literally incredible. It was so much fun. It's awesome to just see us all come together. It's just a whole different atmosphere. You're trying to play and be positive, and you're trying to have fun, and you're constantly encouraging each other. Whenever someone messes up, instead of getting mad and all down on that person, you like pat them on the back and pull them up, and you're like, it's okay, you got this, like shake it off. Can't even begin to elaborate how amazing and awesome it was to just see everyone like that and to be on that team and be on that court and look into the stands and see literally my whole entire church group up in the stands, taking over the stands, cheering us on, screaming. I love you guys so much. Also, this was our 2nd year at Bethel. The first 2 or 3 years we were at this other college called Calvin College, but that's not the point. The point was, like, I was walking by myself after the volleyball tournament, and just walking around and seeing everything really made me reminisce on last year and the way that God worked in my life last year at CDYC, and just how much of a changed person I am since last year too, and how the stuff that happened to me last year like really helped to shape me and teach me lessons and push me out of my comfort zone. Just kind of reflect on everything that happened within that week last year and the entire year, and everything new in my life and everything that I'd experienced in my life that I literally would have never deemed possible looking forward last year. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of about cried, just like being by myself and in touch with myself and my thoughts and just thinking and praying. At the night session, the speaker was Arthur Wilson. What he preached on was about an uprising in your heart. He walked on stage in dirty, muddy clothes. He used that to kind of talk about how we all have stink and your life isn't squeaky clean, meaning that we're all humans, we're all imperfect, we all sin, we all go through tough times and struggles. We're wannabe con artists. The odor of our sin will always be detected by Jesus no matter how hard we try to cover it up. You're setting yourself up for detection. Nothing can get past Jesus. We think that our mess has no impact on us, but really it does. And you just kind of have to think about who may be affected by your mess. God has a cleaning agent, the ability to fix your mess. It's up to you to choose and to decide whether or not you're willing to let him do that for you. Look who's here. Oh, okay. Hi, Claire.
Let me in. I got her. She's supposed to pull down her pants, though.
Claire just got here. Visiting blow dried me because I was cold.
I don't want to talk about it.
What in the world? Those do not belong in the toilet.
Day 3. Today was the day of our service project, and we also have something called the prayer walk, where instead of on your own, you and your group are involved in something that the leaders set up for you. We just kind of walked throughout the stations. Station 1 was called Uprisings Have Fuel. There was an alphabet of big letters like laid across the gym where we were sitting. You picked a few things that brought you joy or that you found joy out of, and you wrote that down in the letter. The next station was called Uprisings Have Identity. We all got little paper dolls that we wrote like what's our identity on that little doll, and then we all tacked it up to a board. So it was really cool to just see everyone do that. Station 3 was called Uprisings Are Close to Their Leader. How in the Bible are we described to be giving guidance and stuff like that. And it asked us like what are some of those things that separate us from him. And then we all got a rock, wrote that word on it, and ideally the instructions said that we'd like toss that into the pond, but obviously we weren't outside, so we just kind of made like a little pile of the rocks. Station 4 was called Uprisings Are Vulnerable, and we took a piece of paper and we wrote what we wanted to be prayed about for, or what we wanted to confess or we're having a hard time confessing, and then we nailed that up to crosses. Station 5 was called Uprisings Have Unity. Defined the word unify. There was also one, it talked about division and like some things that can divide us from being one or being unified. And then the very last station was called Rising of Potential What If. That one represented your campus, your platform, or like your gift and purpose, your family, and your future. For our service project, we went to a homeless shelter, which was actually called Hope Ministries, which is really cool because one time Raylyn and I were going to church from a teammate's house and she lived kind of far away, so we put Hope, our church, into GPS, and one location came up far away and we're like, that can't be right, and it wasn't right. It turns out that that ministry that we thought was our church was the Hope Ministry that we ended up going to for the service project. It was kind of just surreal to see. We saw a few families inside their little rooms in the homeless shelter. Those things are really powerful, and I really challenge and encourage you to like get out there, and even if you're doing something small, just be of a service to someone. See how that works you and changes you and kind of changes your view on something. It was a really awesome time, and we also had a lot of fun times just being together as our little group that we were in. This night's session was called An Uprising in Us, and it was by Tim Veenstra. Basically his whole thing was you don't get Jesus without the church, and he talked about like division. It kind of pointed out the ranking scale of a Christian. None of us want to admit we do it, but we honestly all do it in an aspect at some points, whether we want to admit it or not, and how we need to like cut that out, and we need to be one church, we need to be unified. We got like a huge thing, and we all got little bags of sand. We basically got to go up to the front if we felt like we needed to and talk about how we want to be all in for our youth group. It's just really cool to see literally almost every single person in my Good morning, people. Or actually not good morning. We had a slumber party last night, but we woke up, we got breakfast. I realized once again that I'm not a cereal person because it gets way too soggy way too fast because I eat slow. After that, we got coffee, and then I had some interesting malfunctions. We did TOG. Funny story. Anyways, I'm not elaborating on that. After that, we went to session, and it was awesome, except I haven't been feeling great. My stomach's been hurting, so the whole time I was like terrible, you know. We had really good talks, and then we went to lunch. We went to a breakout session. It was really good. It was pure. Anyways, I'll elaborate later, and I will insert my clips on every day according to my notes when I get home. So, there's that, just to save some time and let me immerse myself in the experience.
Laura, this is the comfiest position to be in if you're like having what we're experiencing.
Oh yeah, I'm currently experiencing really bad hunger cramps because I've been too busy to eat today, really, which sounds terrible. I haven't really vlogged that much today, but there's a lot that happened.
Everyone wait.
You gotta get the other one.
What?
What's going on in here?
What?
I heard this is where the party's at.
Whoa!
Lady, are you okay?
So much for packing.
It's 3 o'clock on the dot.
It's
4:20.
Visiting's got her bestest friends.
It's 5 a.m.
Snack 1,
They're empty.
snack 2, snack 3, and snack 8.
You guys way too much fruit smiles tonight. That's almost awesome.
It's our last night, little stir fries.
That zoom.
A dancing zebra cake. No. June 23rd was our last day. This was session number 6, and it was called an Uprising of Unity. This kind of really struck me. The speaker is Jonathan Brooks. Basically, this one just kind of talked about diversity, how we can't really be diverse and being one. He talked a lot about like whites and African Americans and how that kind of still causes diversity. The whole time I was thinking of diversity in other aspects. It was kind of me taking it to another level and asking like, well, what about this type of diversity? Like, how do you really react to that? Something that kind of struck me was in every person, every place, both display the glory of God and the brokenness of humanity. And that if you just say you love God, it's not enough, that you have to actually take action. But you stop asking God what He wants you to do and begin asking Him where He might want you to do it and with whom. We went to one breakout session, and it was called The Biblical Worldview, basically justifying God is so real, and even though people try to like knock it down and say that it's not and everything, that it really is, and there are facts that kind of justify that even if you are a non-believer. And it was by Peter Heck. I've seen Peter Heck preach 3 times, I think. These were some really astonishing facts. I have literally like 8 pages of notes from this, and it was just awesome. Instead of spending all my time like elaborating on what he talks about and stuff, I challenge you to look that up. Spend some time just kind of hearing that and diving into it. This was the day that there was a basketball tournament, similar to like how the volleyball one was, but this was basketball. And there were a few of our teams that were like kind of making it pretty far in the basketball tournament. I was sitting and having a good time and laughing and talking. One of my other friends came up to me and she was like, hey Lauren, so-and-so has been playing like acoustic and the guitar and stuff in these open mic type things, which is the talent portion of CDYC that I was talking to you about. And she said, he asked me if I knew anyone who would be interested in like singing with him. And she said that people were suggesting me, and that she just kind of wanted to ask me and see if I'd be interested because she knew that I liked to sing and stuff. In that moment, I was like, holy crap, I have never done that in my life. I have never like independently on my own sang in front of people like on a stage with a microphone type performance. Even though I do like to sing, and I was in show choir before and choir and everything like that. So my reaction in my face was kind of like, I don't know. My friends were like, oh yeah, you should totally do it, because Emily and Raylan were literally trying to convince me the whole entire time. And secretly, I had always like had it on my bucket list, but like I never really had taken steps in like actively doing it. This was like a super God moment and someone like coming to me about it. She was like, well, what if I do it with you? She has never really sung in front of people either, and I didn't know like she sang at all or anything. Literally had an hour to practice. We practiced with one of the leaders' phones since we didn't have our phone, like a karaoke version of the Corey Asbury Reckless Love. We picked that out of a list of like 5 songs, and I really loved that song. It was really awesome that that's the one we decided to do. After that, we went to the dining hall and we got our plates of food, and then we went to a little hangout area, got the lyrics, and we practiced the song a couple times, just deciding like how we wanted to do it. It was so amazing and just so beautiful to be a part of that and to like finally do it. For some reason, I was maybe like, holy crap, how and why am I doing this? But I was never like really nervous about it, which is weird for me. I have done a lot of stuff within the last year where I'm like, how did I do that? Like, what the heck? But it's stuff that like, kind of what I was talking about earlier, you gotta be bold and you gotta do the things that you feel like God's trying to make you do or what He's putting on your heart. You can't live this life alone. You can't do it on your own, following your own plans or your own itinerary. You don't know. You can't even begin to comprehend the magnificent things that God's gonna do in your life and that God has in store for your life. Some of our friends like came down and were listening to us sing. It was so awesome. Like, it was just so awesome because singing's been such a huge passion of mine, and I love music, and I've always wanted to like do something like this. But it was just really surreal to actually like be at that point and to do it, and all the encouraging words that my friends had to say to me and to the other people that did it with me. It was just awesome. When I was singing it, there was not a worry in my heart. I was just worshiping. And I'll probably upload that video as just a separate little impromptu, non-professional type video. And it was so amazing to see that like, even me, I have the power to worship and move people or to speak to people's hearts and be what they need to hear. Amazing like last day and way to end my CDYC story and experience, and I really can't cry right now. But anyways, beforehand we had our 7th session and the speaker was Jeff Eckert, and he basically talked about an app called CDYC, which is called Claim Your Campus, which you guys should definitely check out if you're still in high school. It was mainly an app targeted to middle school and high schools where you can like set up and organize like little prayer groups throughout the week that would pray on your school and pray about certain things that you thought your school needed to be prayed about. And our small group and big group sessions for this topic and for what we talked about were really awesome. It's the end of the camp.
Of an era.
Same Claire. Isabel and I already made a pact that we'd sleep together on the bus.
Yeah, we are.
I'm not making Isading sit with a boy again.
Yeah, your boy.
My hair looks disgusting. And I'm waiting on Emily to braid it. Let's go across the bend and look at Ray Swizzlet packing her life away in a suitcase. Are you ready to go home?
I miss some people.
Yeah. June 24th was our last day and the day that we like packed up and headed out after lunch and everything like that. The closing sermon was actually done by my youth pastor. He basically just summed everything up and talked about how are you gonna commit to the long term and to the long term goals of starting this uprising when you get home, about how you should let Jesus fight your fights. As soon as you come back home, the enemy will try to do everything he can to make you fall. An urban rescue, I'm not even kidding you. I was tired, I was sad that it was our last day. It was like a really bittersweet feeling. This is the second time it happened to me. One of my favorite Christian songs is Kaleidoscope. That was a huge song that they played at last year's CDYC, and last year's CDYC was really important to me, and just the things I took away from it and the moves that were made and everything like that. So that was like my huge song that like just made me happy and make me want to jump for joy. I looked at one of my friends and I was like, they better play Kaleidoscope. The first two notes of the band start playing and I'm like jumping in the air. I'm like, yes, Kaleidoscope! Like, it was just awesome, and we were all jumping in the aisleways and everyone was so happy and people were lifting their hands and just singing and laughing and smiling. And I'm so glad that I've been able to like capture part of that and just share my experience with you guys. I really strongly recommend going to a church camp or getting involved in a youth group. It's amazing. Fellowship is awesome. Ultimately, God is always for you, even if you're not for him at all times. He made you. He knows you. He has a plan for you. It's just up to you to choose to follow him and to follow through and to listen to the things he's putting on your heart and to the things you need to do. That was kind of my short little, not very short considering I ran out of memory on one SD card talking about all this. I'm not sure what all I'll end up putting in, but I really hope you guys liked this video and you got something out of it. You should definitely give it a thumbs up just to tell Isabel like, you go girl, you're awesome. And you can click the subscribe button if you have not done so and you'd like to do that, or turn on my notification bell. There's a lot coming this summer and a lot of things like this and just monumental moments in my life that I want to be able to capture and share with you guys this summer and for the rest of my life, hopefully, ever, yeah. And I'm gonna let you go. I hope you had an awesome day whenever you're watching this, and don't forget to be a light and spread love, not hate. I love you all so much. See you next time, guys. Woo! No, Raylan. I'm kidding. Because all by myself. Isn't it? I already told you could sleuth your way over under my bed and hang out with us. Go.
Isn't it so nice having
Go.
That's how ours
Go
is in Iowa.
Go. Okay. I'm not even gonna pretend like it's not midnight on a Sunday. Yeah.
I need some milk with these. Did anyone bring milk? Oreo thins are the only way to go. None of that original crap or double stuff. Oreo thins.
Whoa. Okay, we're leaving. Isabel's shook at me. Talk to you. I just had a really gross cashew.
Alright, you're ready to go, right? You ready?
Ew! Did you just fart?
No.
Okay.
Why do you think everybody farts?
I'm sorry to ruin that moment, but I heard like a poof noise.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I didn't fart.
I have to shave my leg, I'm sorry.
You're shaving your leg right now?
I have to do something. It looks terrible.
I don't even see hair.
That's because it's wet.
3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go.